Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out tonight's stream. We're going to do a NFL mock draft picks 1 through 15. Foots will be joining us live here in a minute. He's getting everything set up. So, guys, what we're going to basically do tonight is we're going to take over the computer AI, okay? Because, when we run these simulators, you get some weird picks that don't seem very realistic. Foots and I are going to break down every single pick and break down what each team may do, and we'll see what's left for the Cowboys. All right, we're gonna talk it through. You guys, make sure you sound off in the chat box, and give us your your thoughts on what certain these teams might do, what they might not do, any surprises that you may think may happen in the draft. Because the draft, there's always a surprise. There's always that somebody goes really early that nobody really saw coming. Somebody falls out of the top. So it's going to be a very fun mock draft tonight, guys. And tonight we're going to use the mock draft machine from the Draft Network. Okay, we're going to use that. So basically we're going to select all of the teams. And that way we can, discuss each pick as we go through. And we'll see what the Cowboys end up with on the board. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, I don't know if we'll do a trade or anything, but we're definitely going to talk about what some possibilities may be whenever Foots joins us here. Let me give everybody some shout outs. Everybody joining us live here in the chat box. Let's see who we got on live with us tonight. Sound off if you are here. Eric Montoya, what's up, buddy? Joseph Sandberg, I saw yeah, I saw Richie Grant's numbers. Pretty good stuff, man. Just pretty much, already doing everything that we knew he was gonna do. So I keep saying this. I don't see both of these safeties being there in the second round. I just don't. I think, as we get here to the draft, these guys may end up going in the bottom of the first round. I really do think that, now if somebody does slip there, maybe that's when the Cowboys might consider moving on up. You know what I mean? But they're pretty good, man. These safeties, the top ones, Merrick and Grant, those are going to be your big ticket guys for the safety. And I do like Jamar Johnson, in that mix. I love Jamar Johnson. Take a look at him if you haven't already. Cajun Cowboy, what's up, my bro? Albert Smith. James Macias, good to see you. Big Country, good to see you in the house, my brother. Brandon Boyce, good to see you. CQ in the house. Brad Canyon, what's up, man? Making my shout outs here as we wait for Foots to jump on, and then we'll get right into it, guys. Can't wait to get this going. Sertan Consolation. Christian Gonzalez, hey, what's going on, Christian? Donnell, good to see you in the house, my brother. Pitts of Sertan. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one hell of a draft. And I will be doing the first round live. So guys, make sure that you hit that bell notification if you haven't already. First round, we're going to cover it here. It'll be live. We'll be talking about it. And obviously, I can't have the camera on the TV. That'll, give us a strike and things like that. But man, it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this. What's up, man? What's going on, everybody? Friday night stream. I can't wait to kick this mock draft off. Fritz is getting his setup going, so he'll be joining us here, and then we'll get started, guys. So appreciate you guys hanging on here and getting ready to kick everything off. Do you guys have any questions while we wait for Foots? Let's talk a little bit of draft here. Do you guys see any surprises in the top of this draft? Let's hit that up. Let me see what you guys say here. Brad Canyon, yeah, Aaron Robinson had a really good pro day. He had a really good pro day. I like his speed. He's a very aggressive guy. I would love to have him in the mix at nickel. I think that's somebody that would take over. And I don't care about the short arms. You know what I mean? That's kind of been his ding, right, Aaron Robinson. But when you see him on the field, what he does, you can't deny the playmaking ability. And we need more dogs on this team. We keep saying it, so I did like that. Richard Hernandez, what's up, bro? Jonathan Gonzalez, Jamin Davis be available at 44. I thought that maybe he might be there. I've mocked him, in my shorts video. In my shorts, I will have another shorts video coming out Saturday, so keep an eye on that one. That's gonna be another fun one. But yeah, I do like Jamin Davis, but his pro day was incredible. This guy had like a 42-inch vertical, and he's just a really good player. You know what I mean? And I think the Cowboys are hunting linebackers. We saw Mike McCarthy. We saw Dan Quinn at the Ohio State pro day. They were looking at Pete Warner, Baron Browning, those two guys in particular, Tommy Tagai, the defensive tackle. Those are the ones that really stood out. Justin Hilliard and the other ones, I don't think their numbers were as good. But, yeah, I think that they are looking for linebackers. They still have not picked up Leighton Vander Esch's fifth-year option, and that's kind of a big thing. I think whenever they picked up Zach Martins, I want to say it was like the first week of April. So, I think we're coming up on it. I think we're coming up on when they have to really say if they're going to pick up that option or not. So we're getting down to it. But it's not looking good, because the injury, the neck, all this other stuff that came with it. We'll see. But that's a good one. Will he be there at 44? He might, but man, I feel like he's going to sneak into that first round conversation. And rightfully so. I think he's a pretty good. Brad Cannon, my surprise is 5 QBs in the top 10. It could happen. I've actually, kind of thought about that. Mr. Awesome, hurry up. Yeah. Cowboys huddle waiting on Foots again. Marveling group, we're here for it, bro. Richard Hernandez, Grant at 44. So would Grant be there at 44? Maybe. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think these safeties are going to creep up into the back of the first. I really do. Do you think some wide receivers are going to drop because QB is being set out? Yeah, absolutely. I think the Cowboys will probably have the opportunity maybe for somebody like a Devontae Smith if you want him. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of Devontae Smith at the pro level. I just have some questions about that. The body armor, can he sustain some of the hits? We've seen some players like that, but he could be the one that actually does really well. KJ Wright news, haven't heard anything yet, and I don't expect anything to happen here. I think the Cowboys have dug in already. I think it's 1 year or nothing. So if I'm KJ Wright, I'm looking somewhere else already. I hate to say that, but I mean, the Cowboys, if they wanted him, they would have signed him already. You know what I mean? They could have done it already. So this kind of leads me to believe that, if you started a game this week, you're very thin at linebacker. You didn't bring back Joe Thomas. Sean Lee's still out there. And honestly, guys, Sean Lee, he needs to just retire, go into coaching. That being said, you need linebackers. You might have to even double dip in this draft at linebacker. You could go 3rd and 4th round linebacker. You could go 2nd and 3rd line. I mean, it could happen. I wouldn't doubt that there's going to be a double dip at linebacker and cornerback. You know what I mean? Sir Tanner Pitts. That's just too hard, man, for me to pick. It's I love the possibility of Pitts. I think he is the real deal. That's why I don't think he's going to make it to 10. You might have to move up to get him, but every fan base wants to find a way to get Pitts on the team, whether it's Atlanta or all these other teams. I promise you, these guys, they want Pitts. Carolina, I mean, all the fan bases above us, they're mocking. They want him. He's a hot commodity. Somebody may move up into the top 10 to grab him. So he could be a generational player. But we're not crowning anybody here. We're not giving any anointing oil, So we'll see. We'll see on that. But it's a great conversation to have for sure in that sort of thing. So Big Country with the super chat. Don't forget at One Tech, tired of getting punched in the mouth in the run game. Yeah, Big Country. I think, defensive tackle is definitely going to be in the mix. Now, will they make that? I'm not sure that they will. We do have Foots the King rolling in here. We're going to go ahead and add him here into the stream here in just a second. Here we go. Foots, what is up, bro?
Rolling in hot, baby.
Rolling in hot.
What's up, buddy?
What is up, man? It is draft season, as you know, Foots, and we're going to get right into this. We talked about this offline about let's try to take the computer AI out of these simulators and take over and make the picks and see what ends up leftovers here for the Cowboys at number 10. Who will be on the board and who we might take, Foot. So are you pumped for this?
Yeah, man. When you hit me with the opportunity, Joe, I was like, dog, let's do it. To me, it's one of those things that we're getting closer. Information is spewing like crazy. I mean, as guys, I don't think I can remember a class where I don't think I can remember a class, Joe, where more people have shot out of right and left field. It's crazy. So I'm super excited. You guys let us know what you guys are thinking. I can't even there go the comments. What's up, everybody? I can't even lie, man. Me and Joe ready to rock and roll. Let me get my water, Joe, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Let's get this thing going. I'm gonna get the simulator started while Foots grabs the water. We're gonna be doing a lot of talking, so shoot, I got mine too, guys. Hope you guys are ready for a fun one tonight. So let's hop right into it. Let's get this draft machine going, baby.
Rock roll, baby.
Rock and roll. Thanks for everybody that's joining tonight. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. All right, Foots. So we're going with the NFL Draft Network mock draft machine, and we're going to do the first 15 picks, everybody. So we're going to get this started. I just select all. I didn't want to go one by one. It would take too long. So let's go ahead and get that going there. Number of rounds, we're just going to do the first round, the first 15 picks of this draft, and let's get it going.
Hey, somebody said the Foot say hey, so I just said it. Hey.
Hey man, that's a tradition. I know when I watch your videos, that's like one of the ones. And when you don't do it, I'm like, hey, Foots didn't do it. All right, guys.
Table like cat mode, baby.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. So the first selection for us, let's talk about the pick here. I think this is a no-brainer. Jaguars on the clock. Trevor Lawrence, right? Or
they take Kyle Pitts. No, they're going Trevor Lawrence. Now let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to some of this stuff that's been happening in the media with the quarterbacks? Are you a fan? Do we want to talk about that, or do we want to stay away from it? Because I'm starting to pick up vibes that Justin Fields has been being labeled as lazy. Not a hard worker.
I saw that from Arlovsky. That guy's a moron.
That was trash, dog. Like,
yeah,
that was as crappy as it gets. And I don't know if people know. I know everybody is in love with Sunshine, Trevor Fields, whatever, Trevor Lawrence. But the problem that I have is these two have been competing since the Elite 11. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. And Justin Fields has been right there. They're both from the Georgia area. And I just think it's hogwash. I just like Fields outplayed him in that Clemson. He just outplayed him not too long ago. And he was hurt. Like, I don't know. I just want to pick your brain on it, Joe.
Yeah, you get knuckleheads like Arlovsky. It's gonna bring out some of the other knuckleheads, right? They're gonna come out the closet. So it's a crazy deal, man. It really is. I think we see it every year. But man, honestly, I think you are seeing more of the athletic quarterbacks. The teams are making that move. The pocket passers. It's kind of a dying dinosaur. You know what I mean? So now, if you're taking a pocket passer, you better have an A+ offensive line, or you won't make it in this league. You know what I mean?
I agree. I completely agree.
So we're going Trevor Lawrence with the obvious first pick there. The Jets are now on the clock, Foot. So this, to me, is where it can get very interesting because, you have Sam Darnold, and to connect this, the 49ers moved up to 3 right behind the Jets. So do they know something that others don't know? There's a connection there with Shanahan and Saleh. Um, is there some sort of like low key, hey man, hey Shanahan, we're gonna go here, and then they make that trade to go up? What is your thoughts on the Jets here? Is there a possibility they don't go quarterback here, or do they take? What is your feel here?
So this is extremely interesting because this is part of what I'm starting to hear now. I've heard, this is no lie, I've heard that the Jets are interested in Mac Jones. Now, for whatever that's worth, this is lying season. So, but I've heard that there's real interest in Mac Jones. You bring up a good point about Saleh and Shanahan. Them two being cool. Does one or the other know which way the other is going? That's a real thing there, Joe.
Yeah.
Understand this. I think the pick is Zach Wilson, but I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not sold on Zach Wilson. Like, I think he's the pick. If I had to put my money on it, I think he's the pick. But
yeah,
again, and like Malik 17, I'm with you, buddy. Like, I never in my wildest dreams saw Mac Jones flying up a board like this. However,
yeah,
Daniel Jones did it 2 years ago where he jumped Dwayne Haskins. This happens every year because I'm telling you now, me and Joe talk about this all the time, y'all. I think people will be surprised how much. Two things that NFL evaluators teams want to know. Can said player run an offense? And I mean run it like, does he know the checks? Does he know this, that, and the third? And can said player gain the respect of a locker room? All of the throws that Zach Wilson made at the pro day, that's great, this, that, and the third. But will the locker room respect him? For whatever reason, Devonta Smith, Najee Harris, Waddle, they all have – I'm not just talking about, like, entry-level respect. They go goo-goo gaga for Mac Jones. They do. You can go watch – like, literally go watch interviews, and they'll tell you we like Mac Jones more than Tua. Like, they're not even neutral about it. Evaluators they look at that stuff, Joe. So
yeah.
for whatever it's worth, I think Wilson will be the pick, Joe. Let's go Wilson here. But
any possibility that you get the first offensive lineman here, possibly? Like if they decide if they trick everybody and they go O-line, would that surprise you if they went Sewell or even Rashawn Slater? I know some people actually have Slater over Sewell. So any thoughts on would they do that? And is that why the San Francisco moved up? Like, is it possible they might take O-lineman here or no? It's probably Zach Wilson. What do you think there, Foots?
What does Saleh think about Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
That's what nobody knows. That's the $1 million. Sam Darnold could play. He beat Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very intriguing to me because I feel like if they do believe in Sam Darnold and they give him some more protection, and you get Saleh revamping that defense, they could be something. So, but for this simulation, I think we're on the same page. I think it is Zach Wilson. There's just the the smoke screens, like we said, smoke and mirror season.
This is season.
Yeah.
It's
so
April. The draft is at the end of this month. Hey. This is where things start to really ramp up. I'm going to say this about Zach Wilson. I think he has the biggest bust potential in this draft. That's me personally.
I kind of get that vibe too. And it is the Jets. It's like they're the new Cleveland. So we'll see. So 49ers now, Foots, they are on the clock. We have 2 quarterbacks off the board already. In San Francisco, we know they're not going to make a trade, for anything but a quarterback here. So is it Mac Jones? Is it Justin Fields? Is it the Dakota State kid, Trey Lance? what is your feel here? Like, why did they move up here?
So for me, Joe, the pick for me for San Francisco would be Trey Lance. For what they want to do, the athletic ability. But I've heard, and if you're reading the tea leaves again, guys, that Kyle Shanahan has real interest in Mac Jones. The only pro day that he went to was Mac Jones's. If there's one offensive coordinator who knows exactly what he wants in a quarterback, for whatever reason, it's Kyle Shanahan. And so, to me, I feel like it would be drafting. All they would be doing is drafting Jimmy Garoppolo. But they know something that we obviously do not know. So, I think that is something to keep an eye on. Mac Jones. I kind of want to give San Francisco Mac Jones, Joe. Maybe we can ask the chat box what do they think. But it's tricky. I mean, there's gonna be shakeup. So, like, everybody, just get ready for Fields to just be sitting there, because there's gonna be shakeup here, Joe. It's not gonna go as everybody's planning. So
yeah,
there's a wrench in every draft. We know that.
Oh yeah, and when maybe we'll get one here in this draft that we're gonna do here, Foots. But yeah, I think as well. I think it is gonna be Mac Jones. You just hear a lot of things and what they do with Shanahan. I think he's okay with this type of quarterback. I think he likes the experience that he brings to the table, the win percentage, and they have weapons there. They just need somebody to run that offense. And you made a good point, Foots, about we're kind of talking about this offline as far as like that they like him as far as being like a student of the game, executing the playbook, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that what Gerard Odell just said is key. High floor, low. And I'm gonna say this: Mac Jones can play.
Yeah, he can. He definitely can.
Cleveland's going crazy. What Cleveland talking about on here? I think the problem is, I think people have to be careful also. Like it's two ways to look at it. I think people have to be careful, quote unquote, chasing athletes more or less, because you got to understand this and really know this right here, Joe. Some of these guys are going to flop out. It just happens every draft. Some of these guys that you get wild at their pro day, they're going to get to a team. The team's not going to put in a plan, and they're going to flop out. I think that Shanahan is taking if he were to, whoever picks Jones, they're banking on a guy knowing the game. Everybody from Saban to Devonta Smith, all these guys, he knows the playbook in and out. There's something to be said about stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the vibration that folks are getting when they want to pick a Mac Jones type player.
Yeah, absolutely. So through the first three picks, quarterback, and I do have a feeling that there's a strong case for that could happen. Now, another interesting scenario here, Foots, is Atlanta. Is this where Justin Fields might come off the board? We're talking about an aging Matt Ryan. They did rework his contract, so that almost kind of makes it feel like they're going to end up keeping him a little bit longer. What is your gut feeling here on what Atlanta might do here?
This is where I actually don't have Atlanta going quarterback. I think that, Joseph Sandberg said it best. I don't think Atlanta's going to go quarterback. I think they may be honest with you. Watch one of these corners here, Joe. I think you brought that to my attention. I think that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Watch Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Aging Julio Jones.
Yeah.
May look at it as a chance to get more weapons and get an A-list weapon, and then make a play for a quarterback when they absolutely have to. So, to switch this up, Joe, let's give them somebody different.
I think you make a good point about defense here, and when you look at their defensive roster, the cornerbacks, you have AJ Terrell, right? I think he was
serviceable.
Yeah, he was serviceable. Let's see if he improves in year two. But next to that, they have nothing there, and that defense was pretty. It wasn't good. So, is this where you see your premier? I mean, in this draft class, are we talking Surtain possibly going here at 4?
Let's look at their depth chart. I mean, I think you're saying some good things, Joe, about Surtain. Possibly, I'm telling you, they may look at it like a lot of teams are starting to look at it around the league. Let's make our offense all the way great too. Yeah, you know what, Joe? Isaiah Oliver, AJ Terrell, yeah, they could definitely use corner help. Isaiah Oliver, for all intents and purposes, has been kind of a letdown. And AJ Terrell, this is his second year, so we'll see what's what on that. Yeah, defensively, the defense doesn't look like much on paper. So, yeah, let's give him Patrick Surtain here, Joe. Let's shake things up. Everybody's going to go to Justin Fields. Everybody's going to go. Let's give him Patrick Surtain and see what happens.
I think that's very much in play, Foots, because you're talking about a new head coach, a new GM. Maybe they want to go a safe route, defensive route. It's a need for them. And I understand Pitt's. This is where I think the Pitt's fan base starts happening for the rest of the fans in this of these respective fan bases, because I'm pretty sure some Atlanta fans are like, we want Pitts, and then all the rest of them want them. You know what I mean? But as far as like what are they actually going to do? And I think Surtain there would be possible. I do think they go cornerback there. And CB1, that's been debated over and over here in Cowboys Nation. Foots is CB1 Surtain, is a JC Horn. And the decision has been made here by the Atlanta Falcons. They take Surtain, the number 4 pick overall, Foots.
I want folks to understand this too. I don't think there's a player in college. In the NFL draft conversation that's more loved than Kyle Pitts right now. I think he's the hottest player in the draft. So this pick very well, for all you people that said Pitts, this pick could be Pitts.
It really could. It really
I don't
could.
think there's a player in the draft that's hotter than Kyle Pitts right now. It's the facts.
Now we get to the 5th pick in the draft. Foots, we're talking the Cincinnati Bengals, where they took Burrow last year, and they added the Clemson wide receiver. So what are you feeling that these guys are going to take here? Draft Network says wide receiver, O-tackle, tight end, interior, edge, and so forth. So gut feeling here on the Bengals. What are they doing here?
Now, I got in a real heated debate with a buddy about the Bengals because it obviously affects what we do. The no-brainer pick is Penny Sewell. And the reason why is because the depth in this receiver class is really stupid. So I'm not as much. I love Chase. Absolutely love him. But there's no way with Rondale Moore, Terrace Marshall, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Kadarius Toney, that I'm gonna reach or overdraft a receiver when we've seen the trend that those round top 10 receivers don't pan the way that some of those AJ Browns, DK Metcalfs pan. If it's me, I'm going Pitts or Sewell. I'm protecting my franchise. That's me. You flip a coin. I love both. To be honest, Joe, for what the bank for Burrow, I would probably go Sewell. For Dallas, I would go Pitts. But Sewell is a dancing bear. Whereas Slater is, I wouldn't say he's a mauler. He's just not the physical beast that Sewell is as far as the size, the movement. But he's a little nastier than Sewell. Him and OK State tackle are just very nasty. Sewell. But Sewell just doesn't really get beat. Give him Sewell. Let's go Sewell. Let's do the right thing, Bengals. Let's not Don't fart around with Chase. Let somebody else be cute. Protect your quarterback. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think you're the premier tackles, offensive linemen. They're going to start coming off the board here. It's a premium position. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, it's not that deep this year. You know what I mean? I know some can say it'll go into the third, but if you want a starter, you got to go first round. And Penei Sewell is. I agree. You want to protect your first round investment in Joe Burrow. You know, he got banged up, he got injured, knocked out for the year. You know, you kind of with Dak. You know, these are athletic quarterbacks that they want to get out. You know, out of the box and make plays on their feet. So, Joe Burrow, if you can get some more protection, I think they're in business.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you think about the division that they're in too, Foot. So it's like there's a lot of head hunting in that division. You know, you got the Ravens, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. These have some ravenous defensive linemen, edge rushers. So I love that pick.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's a great point. You got to draft your division. You're in a division that, what's the word? You're in a division that is big on defense. So we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be big for them. Very, very big.
Yeah. So a recap here, guys. If you're joining late, Lawrence went 1. We went Zach Wilson, Mac Jones 3, Patrick Surtain 4, and Penei Sewell. Foots, we got the Bengals at number 6. This one to me, I think, is kind of open as far as like who it might be. What's your thoughts here? You know, they got Tua Tagovailoa.
The Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah, where they want to go here?
To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm going Jamar Chase. I'm giving him a weapon, a true X receiver, somebody he can grow with, somebody I'm pretty sure he's familiar with when it comes to they're both in the SEC. He's seen him play. He knows what type of receiver he is. Pitts could very well be the pick here.
Does Gesicki kind of prevent you from drafting Pitts here?
It wouldn't prevent me, but it would persuade me to. They got a lot of picks in this draft, so if I can get a true like Jamar Chase and Pitts are really, really close. Pitts is probably a hair better, but for what they need, a true big body receiver, we don't got to move them all around and do all this stuff. I would pair Jamar Chase with Tua Tagovailoa and let them two continue to grow together.
Any consideration for Waddle here or Devontae Smith, or too early for them? Not a good fit. What's your thoughts on those other two receivers?
I think Henry Ruggs messed it up for Waddle, and I think
yep.
And I think Judy on Duty messed it up for Devonta Smith. I think they're good players. I don't think that they're, Jamar Chase, the way he plays receiver is, I think he's the closest thing to a can't miss prospect in the top 10. I wouldn't draft Waddle or Devonta Smith in the top 10. I think that they're good.
Yeah.
As deep as this receiver class is, I'm just not touching those two guys in the top 10.
Yeah, very good point there. Very, very good point there, Foots. I love that. So Jamar Chase is the pick there. Yeah, they give Tua another weapon there on offense. They got to get more weapons for him. And I love that pick there. Now, Detroit, Foots, they're on the clock. They drafted the cornerback last season very high. What is your thoughts on how he performed for the Lions last year? Is there any bust factor there for you, or do you think he'll be okay?
Let's see. It's looking very Mo Claiborne-esque. I'm with you. I think that I thought that Okudah would be a surefire can't miss, and then they missed. So with the Lions, they could go a bunch of different ways. They could go receiver. I don't think they would go back to the well on corner, but it's a thought. You know what? Nobody talks about this. What did they do with Jared Goff's contract?
I think he got. I don't know if they restructure or extend them. I don't know. I don't remember what they did there.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see a tackle here.
Yeah, you see, this is where I think they're in business for Rashawn Slater.
Yeah,
Dan
that's the
Campbell
thing. That's
wants to
the
be
thing.
physical, wants to play smash mouth football. I
Mm-hmm.
think this is. I think they go with Rashawn Slater here. You know, being that Dan Campbell comes from the Parcells tree, and it's all about smash mouth football. You know that he had the interview about breaking kneecaps or whatever the hell whatever he said. So I think you got to set the tone here. And wide receiver, they haven't had the best of luck there in Detroit drafting receivers outside of Megatron. But which would you take Slater here?
If we're being real, like you said, knowing what you know about Campbell, you kind of like know what type of you kind of know what type of player, like what type of player Coach Campbell is. He's hard nosed. You could just tell that he wants to be physical. He wants to do all that type stuff. Let's go Slater, man.
Yeah. I think that is a good fit there.
We're off the board, y'all. Is what it is.
Slater off the board at number 7. So quick recap: Trevor Lawrence, Wilson, Mack, Surtain, Sewell, Jamar Chase, Slater. Number 8 foots. We got the Panthers on the clock. There's thinking that they wanted to get Watson in some kind of trade. Maybe they're still in the quarterback business. They have Bridgewater. Maybe there's even talk. Maybe they move up and trade with Atlanta, possibly. That's been rumored. But the way things could shake out here, maybe they don't have to move for quarterback, or unless it's one of the guys. I mean, we still have Justin Fields on the board. We still have Trey Lance. Or do they go somewhere else, Foots?
Nah, this is a quarterback through and through. That's easy. And to me, I've always pegged Trey Lance to Carolina. I'm not sure. I don't know their read on Fields, but I know for a fact that they love Trey Lance. So for me, the pick will be Lance. Just because I love Trey Lance, that's kind of like my favorite quarterback in this draft. Just because of just all the things he did at North Dakota State. I love North Dakota State's offense. North Dakota State is one of the only programs that literally runs like every formation. Like, they're basically a pro-style offense. They run some zone read. They run a lot of power. They run a lot of play action. And Trey Lance was asked to do a lot of things, and he did it well. So I would go Trey Lance here.
Yes, Trey Lance. I agree. Now it's interesting because now we're starting to see a little bit of a slide from Fields, Foots, and I think that somewhere in this draft, there's going to be a combination, either Lance or Fields. I have if there's anybody that slides, I think it's one of those two. But I agree. Trey Lance, you can let him sit, a year or whatever behind Bridgewater. Bridgewater tends to get dinged up, so Lance might get thrown into the fire early. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I like that pick there.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 9 with the Broncos on the board. Do they crew a quarterback here? We got Elway. He doesn't know how to draft. I know he changed positions there, but I feel like he's still low key influential on these guys, their draft board. So team needs. Are you sold on Drew Lock? Do they go O-line? Do they go? Is J.C. Horn in the mix here? What is your gut feeling here on? Do they take another tight end? I know they drafted who was it? Noah Fant.
Yeah.
Would they bring in Pitts here? Like what is your gut feeling on what Denver does here at number 9?
I would see Denver if Justin Fields is sitting here. they have to take Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
Drew
think
Lock thinks.
I think that's what they
That
talk
would be
about.
like the ghost of John Elway just being blessed.
Yeah, the blinking light here for the Broncos has to be Justin Fields. I'm not sold on Drew Lock myself. I think he's just somebody in the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Drew Lock, I had high hopes for Drew Lock coming out of Missouri. I thought he had a very strong arm, but he's not just like not consistent. In games I watched him make a throw and he just can't get any after he makes that play, he can't get any rhythm, or he'll just throw a stinker the rest of the game. Like, just get the yips. Just forget how to play quarterback the rest of the game. It's times where, you'll have Judy and they had that other receiver from Penn State wide open. And so it's one of those things, man. They just it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not, excuse me. He's not. Locke isn't the guy, Joe.
I'm not.
Unfortunately, the problem is this right here, Joe. You got to keep drafting a quarterback till you have one. Like, I tell Skins fans that all the time. You can keep trying to put a Band-Aid on it and Ryan Fitzpatrick and all that. If you don't have one, you got to keep drafting one. Seriously.
Yeah. I think QB. I think I'm on board here too. Justin Fields. I think that'll be the pick there for the Broncos. That leaves us on the clock, Foots, number 10. We're already here. Let's break down how we got here. And you guys that have been watching and listening, shout out to you guys. You've been hearing how we've been breaking these down. Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Surtain, Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase, Slater, Lance Fields. We're on the clock. Cornerback, we don't have one opposite of Trayvon Diggs, but you do have the big elephant in the room with Kyle Pitts. What do the Cowboys do here? Let's try to take the emotion, the fanboy out of this. What do you think the Cowboys will do? What would you do?
So I'm texting a buddy who's watching, Joe. He's saying, dog, you better draft Pitts. Shout out to you, Holmes. My man Horace is watching. Much love. Oh, shout out to the super chat, too.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight, guys.
So,
right side, pushing.
This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing, Joe. JC Horn, I love you. I'm drafting Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I think this is
pass on him, man. It's the ghost of Randy Moss. Like, you didn't pass on CeeDee Lamb and worked out. You didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just kind of ecstatic about it because, and we heard Stephen Jones say, keep an open mind, right? So this kind of falls into that mentality. I have a feeling, Foots, because there's going to be that faction of the fan base that would hate this pick. There's going to be the fan that says, a tight end, we have Jarwin, we have these guys, but you do have to keep in mind, and I'll talk to you about this, Foots, but Blake Jarwin coming back from a devastating knee injury. It's not like he had a knee scope. This crap was backed up, right?
Scott got into it. How good do y'all think Blake Jarwin is, really? Blake, man, you were talking about it. Blake, I would be so fine. Not even moving on from, but just working with him and just having Kyle Pitts and my guy Joe, and just moving on from Blake Jarwin. That's just me personally. My Stanford court. What's my tight end's name, Joe? That they've been Schultz. I would be fine having Jarwin and Schultz, inline guy. Pitts and Schultz. Inline guy who has sure hands, who's going to be physical. And then Pitts, I tweeted something about Pitts the other day that I don't think that folks really understand. Pitts is a above average blocker. Like, he's not a mauler. He's not Kittle as a blocker. but he's not Evan Ingram. Like, he'll block you. And I don't think that gets talked about enough, Joe. And I don't appreciate it. Like, evaluators don't talk about it. I see him stand some guys up. I see him kick some ends out. I do. But now, what you do now with Pitts is you allow everything to be even. You want to see Zeke get back into form, draft Kyle Pitts. Because now defenses, they can't walk those safeties up and those nickel players up.
Yeah.
If they do, Pitts can go post them up. CD can go do his thing, run around the field and make plays. Amari Cooper can route guys up. You draft Kyle Pitts and you worry about corner and all that stuff in day 2 and 3. If you draft and you got your board set, a lot of things will just come to you. I love J.C. Horn, but he's not going to affect the game like Kyle Pitts does. So for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% on board with the thinking here. Kyle Pitts is the pick, number 10, everybody. But like we said earlier, there are some possible landing spots that he could go to. We talked about Atlanta, right? That he could be in the mix there. We did talk about the Bengals. Maybe giving Joe Burrow a tight end there. I just don't know if these other teams would take a tight end there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dallas is the only team, honestly, that can get away with it. Other teams don't have like Dallas, let's be honest, we know what we are. Box office, sell tickets. That's what this is about. Let's be real. If you want to go Horn, you got to be able to live with the fact that you could possibly be trading away or picking away from a Hall of Famer. And that's me. I'm saying that knowing how much I love J.C. Horn. Like, he's my corner one. Even though we gave Surtain up to Atlanta, I love J.C. Horn. But Kyle Pitts is a better player. So if my board is stacked a certain way, I'm going Pitts.
And that's the evaluation. Who affects the opposing team, and how does it play into what you're doing, and how does it play into the division? You know what I mean? You can really, really put a lot of pressure on these NFC East teams. And talking about Washington, being kind of one of the up and coming defenses in the NFC East. I mean, the Giants. I'm not sleeping on them. I think they have a pretty decent front, although they did let go of Dalvin Tomlinson. But, if you're able to get a player like this in the mix, and he's just sitting there at the blinking light again, I think, that's the pick there for me.
Yeah, it's easy. And I mean, yeah.
Now, Foots, let me ask you this. Now, if this happens in the real draft and teams are seeing Pitts starting to fall, who above might actually jump the Cowboys and get Pitts, or move up to get Pitts? Like, if let's say Pitts is falling and it's right there at number 7 or 8, I mean, somebody might actually come up for him. Is that possible?
Who's behind us, Joe?
Giants. I think they might be. Evan Ingram, he sucks, and you got they need that weapon too. So would they try to do that move?
Would they go up and get Pitts?
Yeah,
they definitely need a weapon. But see what now, Joe, you're looking at a possible Waddle in New York. You're looking at a possible Devontae Smith in New York. Like, that's who I was gonna give. I was gonna give New York Devontae Smith. A weapon for Daniel Jones, a speed guy on the edge, somebody who can run. And he's not a top 10 receiver, but I think he's somebody who can help that team. I was either going to give them him or a DB. So, but Giants are sneaky, Skins are sneaky. I don't know if they will make a play for Pitts, but I know that they like him. I know that for a fact. So those are some guys to watch.
Yeah.
England, if they don't get what they want in a quarterback, I can see – if we talking about trade, I can see New England jetting up to get one of these quarterbacks too.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And so I mean, in our mock, we got a lot of the quarterbacks. It's amazing. You got 5 in the top 10, which I think definitely could happen.
I agree.
Now, as far as the Giants go, Foots, what do you think these guys are going to go? Is Jalen Phillips in the mix here for them?
It's a little high.
Is that high? Is
Not with
Delari? Jalen Waddle still on the board
That's
too.
where I was gonna go. Waddle. I've seen him mocked there a lot, and it makes sense. Just a playmaker.
Yeah, I like Waddle there. Let me see what else. Cornerback, you still got Horn. Would Horn make sense there for them? Does any team have Newsome above Horn? That's what I'm wondering. There's all the talk 1 and 2, Surtain, JC. Maybe what if there's a team that doesn't evaluate like that, and could Newsome go ahead of of JC Horn?
Now, Newsome is interesting because Newsome is somebody that I had Dallas pegged for a trade back opportunity or a trade back in if one of the Georgia corners, for whatever reason, jumped Newsome. Then I have him as a trade back in option because those guys, Campbell and those guys, ran well and people like them as well. So if one of those guys start to fall, because this is a very good tackle class too, Joe.
Yeah,
We have to remember that some really good tackles. There's some really good linemen in this class. So and receiver, so there could be a run. What Dallas needs to happen is if you go Pitts, you need there to be a run on receivers. That's why I want the Giants to go ahead and get him off the board. You need there to be a run on these linebackers, so you can get some of these other players like a Richie Grant and possibly get them to the second round, and stuff like that. You need a run on a certain position. The run I'm watching is O-line, receiver, linebacker. If you take Pitts.
yeah. Jalen Waddle, another weapon. I think they need to find out, right? Because
Yeah.
you're looking at Daniel Jones, and you're like, okay, if he has all these weapons and he still can't get it done, you're moving on, probably, right? I mean,
Yeah.
to me, he's kind of like he's in that. He's kind of floating that Trubisky line where like he can do some things, but you might have to move on from him. Like I feel like he's like a Trubisky type quarterback. He's just holding the spot for a future QB.
Yeah, this is the year for Daniel Jones to make a step up. It's year 3. Okay. I don't feel like they want to move on, but it's gonna be totally on him to now either go out and like he needs to make a playoff push. He needs to. He needs to make a playoff push. Now, we don't want that, but it's the truth. He needs to make a playoff push.
Waddle is the pick.
Jalen Waddle. Give him Jalen Waddle. Give him some weapons. Let him stink it up with Waddle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, the hated Eagles, they did have the number 6 pick. They're probably kicking themselves in the butt for missing out on a whole slew of really good picks. So, sitting there all the way at number 12, what are these clowns going to do? Devontae Smith.
Yeah, you already know. Like, either him or Horn.
They can't draft, dude. They don't know how to draft wide receivers. Like
I was about to say, honestly, they may need to go Horn, Joe.
Horn does make sense there.
Yeah, Horn makes sense. They lost Jalen. They lost. What was my man's name? He was drafted late from LSU. Jalen Mills. So they lost Jalen Mills.
Right.
He definitely could be an issue. Chat box, what do y'all think of with Philly? It's definitely would be between Horn and and Smith here.
Yeah. Because I know these Philly fans, they've been looking for wide receivers. They keep drafting and missing, or maybe they're at the point where they don't want to draft a wide receiver. But Devontae Smith out there, the possibility of being a playmaker for Jalen Hurts.
Oh, you know what? That's a good one, LP. Micah Parsons could make sense here too, Joe.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, linebacker. Who's their linebackers right now?
We got a lot of linebackers here.
Michael Parsons. Let me see who we got here.
April
Yeah, Michael
Smith.
Parsons would be the top guy, and you got JOK, but I don't
Nah,
think
he's not a fit in Philly.
Yeah, he's not a fit. So Michael Parsons, I could see it. So what does the chat box think? Would it be Horn? Would it be Devonta Smith? Michael Parsons? What do you guys think? Seeing some Parsons, we see a Smith. We see Parsons maybe. Donnell says Smith. They love small receivers. That's true. They do. That kind of fits like their mold, really. Outside of Alshon Jeffrey, that didn't. But other than that, yeah, they keep drafting these guys, right?
They can't go receiver again, Joe. Just bad team building. They can't go receiver again. People gotta understand this. Receiver is a very luxury pick.
Yeah, I think so.
They have questions at receiver. I would rather them go and draft, the Oklahoma State tackle. I don't think their tackles are very good. They did draft one last year, 2 years ago. He's been okay. Let me look at Philly's roster real quick.
Parsons, J.C. Horn. So we got a pretty good mix in the chat box. A lot of Horns, a lot of Parsons.
They can't go receiver, Joe. They can't go receiver, can they?
It is Philly.
Yeah.
I just crack up every time Philly's on the clock, man. I love when they draft because they just don't know what they're doing. They already goofed this up by trading back.
Yeah, and it's just so funny because they're not sold on Jalen Hurts. That's now come out. Their receivers suck. John Hightower and Jalen Reagor, they stink. And Greg Ward and Fulgham. God.
Terrible. See, it almost feels like they got to swing for the fence again, and they probably will miss again.
But be honest with you, now looking at that linebacker core, that's awful too.
For these guys, they have to have like post-traumatic stress off of missing on these receivers. I would go Parsons or J.C. Horn myself.
Yeah, I was about to say because they're linebacker. I mean, Alex Singleton and T.J. Edwards. Who are they?
Yeah. That's not those guys?
Yeah, go Parsons here. Screw it. Go Parsons. Because I think they can get by with Slay and Avonte Maddox. I mean, dog, you can't get by with freaking Alex Singleton or whoever. Nah, man. D-line is real good. So I think with Parsons, at least you'll have somebody who can run around and make plays. Go Parsons, Joe.
Yeah, Parsons is the pick there. 13, the Chargers foots. This one here, I don't have a good thumb on what these guys would be looking at. So maybe in the chat box, are you guys familiar with the Chargers?
O-line, Joe. O-line.
Oh, yeah. O-line for
let's look at our tackles and see what we got.
Probably Jenkins would probably be the best guess. Yeah, you got or Darisaw. I mean, it's kind of this is kind of like one of your what flavor do you want?
Yeah, what flavor ice cream?
But I love Tevin Jenkins myself. I'm not a fan of Darisaw. I'm just not. I like Tevin Jenkins. I think this guy is ready-made. You saw his pro day, had a really good pro day.
I like Elijah Vera Tucker myself.
Yeah, and he gives you some flex on the inside too.
Yeah,
so does Jenkins too. But
see, I don't think they could watch for receiver here too. I mean, I do like their weapons. I like Keenan Allen. I like Mike Williams. Justin Herbert was so good last year, wasn't he, Joe? Man,
he was the cream of the crop. He outdid Tua.
Oh, for sure. And the thing with Tua is, let's talk about Tua for a second. Tua wasn't bad. Justin Herbert was just really good.
Yeah.
Tua wasn't bad. I think folks got to understand, like, dog, Philly did Tua. Miami did Tua no favors. Chan Gailey's freaking old as crap. I don't know what he was running. Like, they had Devontae Parker who played better, but dog, come on, it's Devontae Parker. Like, what are we talking about? And then I don't even know who their other weapon was. Like, get him some help. Miami, get Tua some help and put in a system that's not, Chan Gailey from when he was with Dallas. I don't know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Don Coryell. I don't know what they run. Like, you could see, no, you gotta, when you
That's
draft
why.
these guys, you
Yeah,
gotta
that's why I like that pick. I love that we got him, Jamar Chase, because he needs another weapon. You got to find out. The thing I didn't like about Tua was, they say if you're injury prone in college, you will be injury prone in the pros, and that's what happened with Tua. I mean, this guy, he kept getting dinged up. You know what I mean? Like the armor just isn't there for him. So that's my only concern with Tua.
Joe, if you want to, we could very well, because San Diego's defense, I'm looking at this really good. Oh my God. They get Derwin James back. That's a really good defense, Joe. I'm talking about really good. Like Kenneth Murray came on late.
Yeah, he's a good linebacker. I liked him. I know the Cowboys had interest in him.
He came on late, Joe. He played good last year.
Yep.
This is a really good young roster. Still got the Bosa. Still got Melvin Ingram. Yeah, man. Hold on. Did they say Melvin Ingram on his roster? Let me see.
I don't like these. The wide receivers. I'm not a fan of. Actually,
Oh no, they moved on from Melvin Ingram. I thought he was on the roster, but they still have good. They still got Derwin Jones, Nasir Adderley. Remember him coming out? He's the starter. So if it's me, Joe, because you're white, they got a good little team. If it's me, Joe, it's between Tevin Jenkins or receiver. Let's go Tevin Jenkins. Let's protect Herbert.
The finisher, Tevin Jenkins, fits perfect in what they're gonna do there. A mauler. He's the number one finisher. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want. You want somebody to put their will on you. Jenkins, he's just I know some people want Darisaw, but the tape that I've seen, it's Jenkins for me. And I was hoping that he would like make it to the bottom of the first, second. It ain't happening. It just isn't gonna happen.
He's good. He's splitting hairs. I actually think he finishes better than both the two tackles. I just think their feet's a little better. And they play better competition. So they're like less risk. But Jenkins is really good. Like he's my tackle 3. So I like Darisaw as well. So
Indeed. So we are now number 14, the Vikings.
Hey, Tony Peters, no shot at anybody that's older than me. I think Andy Reid does. Actually, Andy Reid doesn't call plays. Eric Bieniemy does. But I think that what I'm saying is Chan Gailey, his system was older in what he was asking Tua to do. If you notice, Andy Reid does a great job of fitting a system to the player. If that makes sense.
Yeah. JOK to the Vikings. This is a very interesting thought here.
I like that.
I actually do like this too, because if anybody's gonna get that out of JOK, it'll be Zimmer.
Great defensive mind.
Yeah, great defensive. That's what, and you and I have talked about this offline, Foots. JOK, the Notre Dame linebacker pedigree. For me, it's like he needs to land in a good spot. And I think Minnesota would be amazing there. Now, do they need O-line? Is this too high for safety?
See, to me, it's about Kwity Paye is somebody to watch here in League 17. Okay, Tony, I'm sorry. I know Bieniemy designs the plays. I know he's the offensive coordinator. I know Andy Reid probably calls him game day.
There's far more in a conversation here. We know that Zimmer loves his defensive tackles. Now,
he is the one coach in the league that will take a flyer on DTs. Offensive line, though, Joe.
Is this Darisaw? This could be Darisaw here, right? Or are we looking interior?
What about Leatherwood? Is it too early?
Oh yeah, that's way too early for that. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I actually like Landon Dickerson a lot. He can give you flex in center and guard. Vera Tucker, I think it would be a solid pick for them as well. Interior.
I like Vera Tucker. If you want to go Vera Tucker, Joe, I'm not mad now. We need to think about Joe, safety too, though. And how are you going to use JOK? This has been my thing about Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas hasn't in the past done good with players. Well, they haven't even touched players like this.
Yeah.
Joker's a trade back option now that you have Dan Quinn. But did we sign Keanu Neal to be what we would have asked Joker to do? Probably. So Joker's probably off of our board, guys. But I like Joker. I think it would make sense here too. But the smart thing to get what you can get the rest of your money's worth out of Kirk Cousins, that 80 guaranteed and all that. Vera Tucker probably, Joe.
Yeah, Vera Tucker all the way here gives them that flex interior in. He can play on the outside. It's a need for these guys, and if they're going to build for the future, if they even want to move on, from Cousins, at least they have a young stud there in Vera Tucker who did really well in his pro day. So
He's a good player.
He is a good player. I wouldn't say it's a safe pick, but it kind of is a safe pick. You know what I mean? If you're looking at offensive linemen, that's going to be like a safe pick. I think Vera Tucker is right there at the top.
Yeah. Jalen Phillips is somebody to keep an eye on too, Albert Smith. You're right. He's flying up boards. The one problem I have with Jalen Phillips is does he love football? But he redid his body. It's interesting thing I watched on Jalen Phillips. He redid his body in Miami. Like, literally ate and lifted everything and got really, really big. So, somebody wants us to review our picks, Joe.
Yeah, let's scroll down. If you missed, go ahead and check this out, guys. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Surtain, Sewell, Jamar Chase to the Dolphins, Slater bringing that physicality to Dan Campbell's team, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Drew Lock ain't it, and Kyle Pitts landed in our lap again. Jalen Waddle makes a lot of sense there. Micah Parsons, they need a linebacker. Tevin Jenkins, I love that pick there for the Chargers, and Vera Tucker at 14.
Looks good, Joe.
Yeah. So with our last pick and our picks 1 through 15 mock draft, shout out to everybody here that has watched live and stuck here to check this out in the conversation. I think it's amazing. And shout out to Vosh Lombardi and Jeff Kavanaugh because they kind of did something similar. And I thought it was just a great idea. I was like, let's do this with a simulator. Let's take the AI out of it and let's break it down with Foots and see what we come up with. And that's great work, Foots. Great work.
Well, this was a good one, Joe. I think we had a lot of good conversation too. That's the good thing about the draft is like everybody gets to pick brains about players that they have a feel about. I like Leatherwood. Joe's too early.
No.
Little things like that. We got to talk about the quarterbacks, which we really never really get a chance to talk about because we know we're not drafting a quarterback, so it's not nothing to talk about. The Kyle Pitts argument is probably the hottest argument in Dallas land, and it's not going to go anywhere, guys, because I will say this. Cowboys fans are really, really smart. There are also Cowboys fans who are really, really traditional and stubborn.
Yes.
You have to keep up with the times. Anytime you have a Nick Saban who is no nonsense, doesn't play games, doesn't play around, when you hear him saying things like, hey, offense is now what it is. I had to make a philosophy change to say, I know that we're going to give up points. We have to now think about outscoring teams. How fast can we score? That's where the league is moving to. Points are being scored at a much higher rate now. Fantasy football, all this stuff. Points, big plays. Get weapons in here to be able to funnel the ball to CeeDee Lamb, funnel the ball to Amari Cooper, funnel the ball to Pollard, funnel the ball to Zeke, funnel the ball to Pitts. Think about it.
Indeed. Foots, with our final pick with the Patriots, would they be the surprise team that I would say maybe possibly reaches for a QB here to develop? Would it be
I can't see Kyle Trask going this early. That would be just
me either. But Mills, on the other hand,
Mills is gaining a lot of steam, which is weird to me too.
Yeah,
still too early for that. I can see the Patriots going corner here.
And Horn, it's crazy that Horn might still possibly be out there, right? No, they got
JC Horn makes a lot of sense. Newsom seems like he's a Patriot, like just has that feel.
yeah. I think that I feel like that. JOK, I don't think would be a good fit there. Jamin Davis could be
Too early.
Zaven Collins. Now, they do like to do certain things with some of these hybrid type of players, and I think if you're looking at the hybrid linebacker that can give them some flex in the pass rush, it's probably Zaven Collins at 15 possibly. I'm just thinking out loud, Foots. But
no, that makes a lot of sense.
edge, they're always in the business for edge. Somebody mentioned that they don't know how to draft, which is true. They tend to do better in free agency, right? Foots, it's like they've missed on a lot of draft picks. I mean, they drafted N'Keal Harry or who was it? And garbage. He's no good.
Harry, and I loved Harry at Arizona State. He just sucks. He's out of there.
Yeah, I didn't like that pick at all. But
I will watch JC Horn here. He's probably my best player still available. JOK is not a good fit. So Zaven Collins makes sense. Just think it'd be a little bit of a reach, especially because I have Nick Bolton as a better player.
Barmore, is that too early for Barmore for New England and what they do?
Joe. Yeah, because Joe, it's too early.
Then we still have. Now, if they did, I think if they did take a wide receiver here, it would probably be Bateman. I have a feeling because they love the speed guys, and not that Devontae Smith isn't a speed guy, but I think Rashad Bateman is pretty good in the red zone. What's your gut feeling here, Foots? Do you do you like any of these picks for them? Any fits? It's kind of hard to peg what these guys might do.
So,
Najee Harris.
That one was fun. Najee's fun. It's a little rich.
Yeah, they got a pretty back. Yeah, they have a pretty decent backfield, right?
Yeah, that one's rich to me, Joe. Let's go. They can't. Bill's not gonna go receiver again. He's not gonna make that mistake.
Yeah.
Quiddy pay somebody to watch here.
Do they go with Pat Fairmouth? They like these big tight ends. That seems high though. I wouldn't take him in the first.
Yeah, I would. I would go with the Miami tight end myself.
Yeah, I like Jordan and Trimble better.
Yeah, but
Jalen Phillips, Ojolari, Kwity Paye, some pretty good.
Kwity Paye would be a good. I like Kwity Paye. People are down on this DN class. I think it's pretty good. I mean, Jalen Phillips is probably my favorite, but I like Kwity Paye because of how physical he is in the run game. Kwity Paye is really physical. Joe, go Kwity Paye. Screw it.
Yeah, I think it would be either that or Zaven. Let's go with Kwity Paye here for the Patriots. And that's going to conclude our 15 picks in the first round, Foot. So awesome job, guys. Everybody in the chat box, we really enjoyed it. Foot, what's your thought on all of our picks here?
Man, I just think that we knocked it out of the park. I thought our draft, our mock was very original.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? You see, and that's the thing about mock drafts in general. Foots, like you and I do them, and people don't. It's almost like people don't like to see different names. You know what I mean? Like we're not drafting him. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Let's change this up, man. Like that crap.
Donnell Jenkins, yo, thanks for the super chat. Yo.
Donnell, thank you, bro. Cowboys should hire you guys as scouts.
So, the truth of the matter is this.
Thank you, Donnell.
What's up, April? I think that the truth of the matter is this. I want folks to understand this right here. A lot of times, what we see on TV as far as these are the names we keep seeing. Obviously, it's Surtain. But be prepared for a curveball. Nonetheless, I feel like at 10, we pretty much covered everybody. But be prepared for Dallas to turn in the card that says Micah Parsons. Because
I don't agree with that comment there.
I know.
That ain't a reach.
Huh?
I don't think that's a reach for the Falcons, Surtain.
No. If somebody thinks it's a reach, there's some inconsistency in this mock. Now we're worrying about reaches, but yeah. No. Let's talk about his comment. Spurs, Jordan. No, you got to understand this right here. Look at the Falcons roster. Okay. Everybody's not as high on these quarterbacks. I'm not, dog. At the beginning of this year, if you would have told me that you had Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, yes, Trey Lance was in the conversation, and Justin, but those other two, you didn't have Zach Wilson and Mac Jones even in the sniffing the first round. And now you're telling me they're top 10 picks. Every front office isn't going to value those guys the same. It's a real thing. People are going to look at Surtain and say, hey, this guy has Surtain has an NFL body, Jordan. He has an NFL body. That's people like corner is a hard position to find. Like teams will look at Surtain and say, I could leave him on an island. I've seen him comp to Jalen Ramsey a lot. Do I think he's Ramsey? No. But I've seen him comp to Ramsey. So don't say that's a reach because it happens all the time. Hell, I remember it's been I didn't think CJ Henderson would go as high as he did last year.
Like, exactly.
Teams value corner. So it's not a reach. It's realistic. Everybody has Justin Fields to Atlanta. That's not just stamped, signed, seals, delivered. Matt Ryan may go to Atlanta and say, hey, I'm not going to show this guy the ropes. I still think I can play. Like, all these things happen in the league, guys. All these things happen in the league. Atlanta may look at it and say, Matt Ryan can still play. We need to fix some things around him. So, and thank you. I like what Malik 17 said. Atlanta will draft corners. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's what it is, and it will happen. It definitely will happen, and there'll probably be another name that nobody's thinking will be in there, and people will be like, "Oh, dang, he went that high!" Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, could it be Rousseau? No, I don't think anybody that's been following the draft, thinks that Rousseau is even like a mid first rounder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Brad Canyon with the super chat. What pick at 10 make you jump out of your seat, and which pick would you throw your hat? To me, Penei Sewell and Kwity Paye at number 10.
Why, hey, Brad, why Penei Sewell? I would be happy if Dallas drafted Penei Sewell, I would throw my hat for joy. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I do like Penei Sewell. I would that would be a great pick, and I wonder who would be taken off the board before, but if he falls, you're in business because Tyron Smith will miss games. Will he even make 10 games this season? We got 17 games this year. You know what I mean? Is he going to even get to play 10 games? He's going to go out, and you need somebody to slide in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, Joe. I agree.
Kwity Paye, if he went 10, yeah, I'd probably be throwing my hat there because that just, to me, that kind of would reek like, holy crap, we screwed up here. This better not be a Taco Charlton 2.0 situation. So,
yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Thank you for super chat, Brad. Appreciate you. Patience biggest to fishing boss. Bless you foots, April. Yeah, bless you foots.
Yo. I think I froze, Joe, but I'm still here.
Yeah. No, I got you. I hear you. Yeah, AJ Terrell, I think, he kind of went a little higher. And that's what happens. These cornerback and safety, too. That's why I keep telling guys, Grant and Merrick, they may not be there in the second round. Everybody wants to be like 44 Grants. Like, you know what I mean, Foots? Like, do you think Grant or Merrick are locks to be there at 44?
Joe, I do. Not locks, but one of the two will be there.
Yeah.
Why? Because I've seen now that position is undervalued, even by Dallas. It's been undervalued. Now I think it's starting to be undervalued league-wide. And I just feel like I remember the time that year. Remember that year, Joe, when it's like, oh, they could have drafted a rap and they passed. Or they could have.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that, like, you'll see the corners go. You'll see the receivers go. Hell, you'll see the tackles go. You'll see the linebackers go. But the safeties, they'll just be – the safeties and running backs will just be there, man. Like, it wouldn't be surprising me if you look up and Najee Harris is just sitting there. ETN is sitting there. It's just the way you got to follow the trends. The trend is what? Running backs aren't getting picked high anymore. Like, you're not even talking to – we don't even talk about a running back in the first round anymore.
Yeah.
You don't even talk about a running back in the first round anymore, Joe. That's where we are.
Yeah, it is, and it's a hard lesson to learn. You know what I mean? And that opens up a whole other conversation. But yeah, it's running backs. Yeah, these guys you can get them later. I don't know if we'll see another one in the top again, but like anything else, you never know.
Yeah, I would say this: as much as they like Kizzy, and how much as fans like Kizzy, there's no way I wouldn't draft a safety. I would definitely draft a safety.
Exactly. We do need a safety, and he's coming off of an injury that's pretty recent, right? I mean, we're talking like, is he going to start on PUP? Is he even going to be able to start camp? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think a lot of fans get kind of caught up in the name and the relationship with Quinn, but let's remember he blew out that Achilles last season. So that we've talked about that before. Foots, an Achilles injury is like a 2-year recovery. Like
it's not. Yeah, you don't. It's not you could just jump back from. I definitely want Richie Grant. If it was me, if I'm Dallas and Grant is at like 40, I think I would go up.
Yeah, I think that's what you got to do. I think if he's
in striking distance, go up.
You got to. You have to. And we have the draft capital to do it. So that's what I don't want to see the Cowboys do is like, just be stubborn again. Like, I feel like this draft, they need to be a little bit more aggressive and not just sit on their picks.
Yeah, if it's me, if I can walk out of the first 2 days, even if I don't have my 2/3, but if I can walk out of the first 2 days with Kyle Pitts and Richie Grant, I'm good.
Super chat from W right side. Thanks for the content, fellas. I don't agree with pushing Pitts down, but big love for the content. Let's go, new media. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's what the conversation is. It's like, could it happen? Here's how it might happen. And Foots and I talked about this. We're not trying to make this mock draft where Pitts falls to us. We went each pick by pick, and
gave you reasons.
Yeah, gave you the reasons, and it's not like none of it's possible. And we did say that it could be possible, right? We did say that it is possible that Pitts could go to Atlanta. He could go to the Bengals. He could go to a lot of these teams. He definitely could go to, but they do have other needs and things like that. So that's what it is, baby. That's what it is. We do appreciate everybody that joined us live. Make sure you guys hit like on the video here before you cut out, guys. It helps the channel immensely. And this was a lot of fun, Foots.
Yeah,
this was
awesome.
This was a ton of fun. I think we'll see if there's some other trades before the draft starts. But, I think you are going to see other names push into the first round as we get closer, as more pro days come up. But, these pro days are finishing up here pretty quickly. We're getting down to it. I think we have
pro day season was fun, wasn't it, Joe?
Pro day season is almost getting to the point where it's an event now. Like, you're seeing NFL Network do more coverage. ESPN, they see that they can get the views. They're jumping in on it. So
yeah, you never thought. It's funny how things go, Joe. I remember me and you were just doing a little old podcast a couple years ago, and like nobody was on it, and nobody. Now the draft and the draft coverage up until and the conversation around is for sure a spectacle. Whether somebody has hot takes like Dan Orlowski or whatever the case may be, it's become a spectacle, Joe, and it's dope. I really think it's very dope.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. And we've been through it. We do a great coverage, and other people do great draft work as well. But you and I, and somebody mentioned that we don't disagree or we agree too much. It's because we have that relationship off camera, on camera, and we just think a lot. Like Foots and I. Well, now obviously we don't agree a lot on some things, but we do agree on a lot of things. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, the thing is, me and Joe, that's right. There you go. April was with us since 2016. That's right. I think that me and what people don't know about me and Joe is that we talk a lot, like about film, and there's some guys we don't like, that we don't agree on.
Yeah,
we know how to. One thing I think that we do that I think other guys don't do is we think how Dallas would think. We don't just. Oh no! Like you have to we cover this team. That's right, April. Cowboys Huddle. We used to have a podcast. It used to be killer. A lot of people don't. What's the word, Joe? A lot of people don't think realistically about what the Cowboys would do. That's why when people come at me about our Darius Washington. And I know that was like Jeff Kavanaugh's guy. Me and Jeff did some work together recently. That's fine. But I know Dallas isn't going to take a flyer on our Darius Washington.
Or Bolton or Asante Samuel.
Right, exactly. It's a real thing. Like this is me and Joe. And if they do it, hey, you shock the hell out of me, but they're not. We know that they're not going to take Christian Barmore. This is what we know because of the trends. So,
and that's the thing that scares me about safety Foots, because it's like we saw what they did in free agency. The same thing, the draft, defensive tackles and safeties, they don't do it early. So that's the thing I'm afraid of. I would be like, if Grant or Merrick are there and they pass, I'll be like, that's proof, bro. Like that's it. What other proof do you need?
Well, we're gonna just say we told you.
Yeah. I'm already prepared for it, to be real. I really am.
Yeah, Joe. I'm gonna try not to get hurt this time, but the Grant I would be so hurt, Joe.
I want Grant, and man, but those numbers were pretty solid. So I'm saying, like, man,
was it 4.53?
Yeah, pretty solid all across the board.
That's good enough for a safety.
Oh yeah, for sure.
His play style, he plays faster than that, so I'm fine.
Super chats keep coming in. W right side. Does 4.5 push Grant down, even though instincts is what matters at safety? Foots?
No. Nope.
Yeah.
Not to me.
No, not to me either. And I always go back to what Dion says. So 4.6, that's a safety. So 4.5,
right.
4.5 is pretty dang good for safety. It really is.
I like what Brad Cannon is saying. Yep, instinct, safety. I say this all the time. A lot of people like to quote me as like the DB guy.
You are. You really are. You're the DB guy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. I mean, it's an instinct position. So some of these guys where hey Joe, I want to talk about a player real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Grant, the instincts are off the charts. You don't have to worry about the speed. He sees it. Some guys just have that keen ability to know when the play is happening, where the play is going, all that type of stuff. So Grant will be fine. Here we go, Joe. Cam Mcgrone, linebacker, Michigan. I'm getting to his film, and I really like it. I just want to throw this nugget in there. Look for him if he's available in the 4th round.
It's an interesting thing because this is what I'm trying to do too. I'm looking at linebackers. Cowboys are looking at linebackers. We know that. And I'm looking at the names that other people are not talking about. That's a perfect one, right? Brugler had his under the radar guys. He's got Iowa guy, right? And he makes a good point there. I'm gonna go check him out. I like my Isaiah McDuffie kid out of
McDuffie
Boston
is
College.
is a baller. You got me hip to him, Joe. I might
Yeah.
throw him in a mock that I do tomorrow.
So there's definitely those guys, and I always think about when we drafted Hitchens, right? When we drafted Hitchens, I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't on my radar, and when we drafted him, I was like, okay, who the hell, who was on? No, I don't think anybody had Hitchens on the radar that year.
He's still playing in the league well.
Wow. Yeah, good. They probably should have kept him.
8 and 9 year vet. Wow.
Yeah.
I just think Michigan has a good pedigree for linebackers.
Yeah, I agree. Linebackers is probably their bread and butter.
Yeah, I want you all to check out Cameron McGrone. He's sneaky. He's not quite Devin Bush, but he's sneaky good. And McDuffie, Joe hit it on the head. The Boston College kid is really good. Has really good hips. I think that's the sweet spot. If we don't go back or early, that's the sweet spot, 4th or 5th round, Joe.
Absolutely. Yeah, 4th and 5th could be the sweet spot for some of these linebackers. And it's good to brush up on some of them. Yeah, I totally agree. The TCU kid. What's your thoughts on Wallow?
Not bad, Joe. He can play.
Yeah. Is he? You think he's in that range too? 4th, 5th round?
4th, 5th. I like McDuffie better.
Yeah.
I like how physical McDuffie plays. I want to see McDuffie more. It's hard to get tape on him. I want to see him more in the drop back, like in the passing game, field wise. But he was a converted safety, if I'm
right. Yeah, converted safety, and I just love the way he tackles. Solid.
That's what I'm saying. He's physical. Like he popped off my screen. The physicalness popped off my screen. So, yeah. Nah, I'm staying away from Richard LeCounte. He was somebody I was on early, like when the season was still going on. His film, yeah, and he's not fast. I'm good on LeCounte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monty Rice. What do you think about Monty Rice?
Not a bad player. But I'm cool on Monty too.
Yeah, I'm the same on those two guys. Number 4 is too high to not pick a QB. For Atlanta, it's either QB or trade down to 8 or 9. Surtain or Horn will still be there at 8 and 9. Maybe. You know what I mean? It's possible. We talked about that. So, yeah, I definitely think that if there's going to be a trade to be made, I think that could be it. It could be 4. They might trade down. I agree with that part.
Yeah, I agree too, Joe.
But I think that's it for tonight. We went an hour and a half. I didn't think it would go that long. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Appreciate that.
Didn't feel that long. You're right, Joe.
Yeah. Appreciate you, my guys. But I know Foots has got to get back to baby duty. We don't want to keep
baby duty, baby.
Baby duty. We don't want to keep him out too long. But Foots, bro, appreciate you joining tonight. This was a great.
Look like I froze on the screen again. Damn it.
Oh, it's all good. We got you. Your voice is all that matters, bro. And so great work, Foots. Appreciate it. We'll do some more draft coverage before the draft comes up, as usual. And shoot, man, whenever you want me to join yours, just let me know, bro. I'll be there for you.
I may do another mock tomorrow on my channel. If you guys want to see another mock, maybe me and Joe will do a 5-rounder, and we'll talk some of these. We'll talk. Let's do a 5-round tomorrow, Joe. What time can you go?
Tomorrow is Friday. I do have a hot date Friday night, so it might have to be like Friday afternoon if we do.
That's cool. I should be available afternoon, like early, like 12-1.
That sounds like a plan, bro.
Let's do it.
All right. You heard it here, guys. We'll see if we can get that going there. But that's it for now, guys. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, and share. Follow my boy Foots the King on Twitter, Foots the King, and hit him up on YouTube.
It's your boy, Footy.
Foots in the house. This is a throwback to our draft coverage. It's always a good time, Foots. But that's it for everybody. We will catch everybody for the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.